Hi everybody, and welcome to Mike Nichol Online, sharing my love for, well, we got all three here today. People, wine, food, and crackers and cheese, and all things made passionately. So thanks so much for joining us today. And today I've got Heather Nichol. Heather, thank you so much for being in the garage.
Mike, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Now Heather, I'm sure you've seen these boxes around. Gone crackers. You probably taste them at parties. I mean, you can buy them almost anywhere. Heather, what is Gone Crackers, or how did you start Gone Crackers?
I started this 10 years ago now. This is my 10th year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was kind of after a real bad year of my life, and I made a joke that I should start a line of crackers called Gone Crackers. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it, what it's to, is that I just didn't think there was any crackers in the market that had great flavor. Mm-hmm. And most any cracker that was out had sugar or nuts or something in it. There was nothing that I felt that went with wine. Mm-hmm. So I was on my trek, because I think the beginning of the night is the most important time to taste wine and food, and you want to keep it as clean as possible and get your upfront flavors in.
There you go. And you mentioned off camera, Heather said, you never get back that first sip. When you show up to a party, that first sip it's the sip. It's like the first kiss or the first whatever. It's the first sip, right?
It's so important, and I wish people would just slow down.
Yeah. Really take in and really enjoy.
Really,
absolutely.
yeah.
And your crackers they're simple recipes. They're not fully loaded with all kinds of different things you can't pronounce or anything like that.
No, and that was the point that if I was going to make a Parmesan cracker, the Parmesan is the second ingredient. The blue cheese is the second ingredient. So I wanted to keep it a real clean, true flavor profile.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, as we're talking, crackers and cheese are such a great way to start a fun evening with friends or whatever. An exceptional wine pairing, which I'm sure all of you know out there. Wine, cheese, crackers, beautiful thing together. We've got a couple of wines we're going to taste today, and Heather brought along some cheeses. Where did you get the cheeses from?
There's a wonderful little cheese shop near me called Queso Cheese in White Rock.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, I just took the platter in and I said, can you just make this platter up because I'm in a real hurry? And they'll do that. They just put everything on and make it look great, depending on whatever you want.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so if you're in White Rock and you're feeling shy or intimidated and you don't know enough about cheese, I don't even know that much about cheese. Heck, I didn't used to know much about wine either. But you walk into a place like that, and if they're going to take your platter and they'll say, listen, we'll build you a platter so you can rock it. Then you can show up to your friend's house and make them feel all bad that they don't know what they're talking about because you feel like you do. Yeah. But they'll take care of you there. That's really
they're great people.
Queso
really
cheese.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll have to keep that in mind. So down on the White Rock Strip.
Yeah, they're
Perfect.
wonderful.
All right, so let's talk about, you've got a few crackers in front of us.
Yes. Well, what I did is I have 7 varieties now, so I kept it real simple. I have the very first one that I designed, which was my Parmesan Rosemary.
Okay.
And that one, I designed the Parmesan as well as the blue cheese. If you only had a bottle of wine in the house and nothing else in the fridge, you could open that up and have it with the wine on its own.
Awesome.
So the others I brought are my undressed cracker, which was a bit of a fluke. It was not my idea to ever design this cracker. And my latest one, which is Moroccan Spice, which I was real excited with one of the wines you chose. Awesome. It couldn't be more perfect with that.
Now, when you say the undressed cracker, is it a plain cracker or?
It is. I was asked by a couple of wineries. They said we want a plain cracker for a palate cleanser, and I went, there's so many plain crackers in the market. Have at it.
Yeah.
But they said, no, we want something from BC. So I designed it, and it was very off the cuff. And then a few months in, they said, no, people want to buy them. And I said, I am not boxing a plain cracker. It's just not my flavor thing, what I'm up to. But after 2 years, the part of the problem was I said, what am I going to call it?
Yeah.
You know, I'm known for bold flavor. Yeah. Plain Jane, like what was I? So I thought, what can I say that's cheeky and fun? And that's where the name Undress came from.
I like that. Undress is great. It's catchy, for sure. Okay, well, I've got a couple wines. First one I've got, I'm going to start with, and then we'll do some pairings and stuff. Should be a good time. We've got the 2009 Black Hills Viognier. You have to forgive me. I'm getting over a cold. I apologize. The 2009 Black Hills Viognier. Now, Viognier, I've mentioned in episodes in the past, it's a unique grape variety. It stands really well on its own as a single varietal. In a really hot year like 2009, what's awesome about Viognier is it can really show its true flavor characteristics. You get like floral flavor characteristics, tropical flavors, things like that. In a cooler year, it's more of a savory wine where you get more kind of that olive oil flavors and olive juice and apple. 2009 in BC was an exceptionally hot year, made good wines, and I'm very impressed with this wine. So we're going to go ahead and try this one.
Wonderful.
Throw some in your glass here. Now, what would you recommend? You said the Moroccan spice to go well with the Viognier?
Well, the Moroccan spice cracker is great with any aromatics, and
Okay.
I happen to love Viognier myself, so it'll be dynamite with
Well,
that
let's
one.
taste the wine first here.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers, absolutely. Tell me what you smell on this one.
Well, you for sure. I get a bit of. It's almost herbaceous too, which is
Absolutely.
kind of interesting. Right on the nose, and
Which is quite a signature of Viognier as well, because Viognier, a characteristic of it can be quite savory. It has like typically a slight oiliness, things like that. Herbaceous is a good one.
yeah, and you get that. You get almost a citrus too, a little bit of
Absolutely.
citrus right
Yeah.
off the top as well.
Yeah, I find it's got a little bit of like grapefruity citrus almost there as well. What comes through on this one for me is a lot of pineapple and a lot of papaya just leaps out of the
Yeah.
glass, and I'm a huge fan of papaya,
Yeah.
and I like that. So on the palate,
And then more round,
absolutely.
tropical comes
Yeah,
out.
it's a full wine. My whole palate, I don't know about you, my whole palate just feels happy right now. It feels satisfied. It's
Well, you
not
feel
a-
like you're in the tropics. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the wonderful thing about a Viognier is you get all this. It's such a change. Like the nose is so different from what you actually get on the palate. I find.
absolutely. And it's a complete wine. You get almost some of that honeyed characteristics. It's got a beautiful creamy mouth feel, silky, creamy.
Silky.
Yeah, some honey, a little bit of kind of like that honeycomb or things
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
So what's going to go well with this Viognier?
Well, I got this pyramid goat's cheese. This is out in Agassiz from Farmhouse Cheeses.
Okay.
So, oh my
Oh,
god.
look at that. That's beautiful.
So you got and look how creamy that is.
Yeah. Now, I was looking through Heather's website as well, and she's got some really neat trick recipes if you're in a rush and stuff. Goat cheese was a huge part of a few of them.
Yeah.
And, I mean, goat cheese is awesome anyway, but it always pairs with so many nice things.
Well, it can, and the thing is, if you're not a fan of goat's cheese, don't worry about it. Add, use a cream cheese.
Yep.
One of the things I brought today is it's a little company called RZ Edibles, and it's a pomegranate hot pepper jelly. What's great about this is you're going to get the cracker, the goat's cheese, and then the pepper jelly. It'll be all three, and all of a sudden you put that together, and
Okay.
wow.
Well, here we go.
So,
Bottoms
chow
up,
down.
yeah.
Though the Moroccan
Wow.
spice isn't hot spicy, that it's like in Indian cuisine how you have yogurt with spicy. It just really
Oh, wow. Hey, that's exceptional. That I don't know if I'm gonna have to put up a moment of silence in the camera or something, but this is really nice. So I appreciate you bringing these by.
It's
So with the wine,
well.
I mean, this matches the Viognier so well. And then the kind of the grapefruit we're kind of finding on here, kind of the ginger spice, things like that we're getting from the cracker and everything. It's so complete. This is something that, again, if you rush this, would really be a shame. This is something where you want to enjoy this over.
For sure.
Every bite has got something new to it. And
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Viognier, even though it's all that strength, it's got that delicate nature to it. It
Absolutely.
deserves the attention, I
yeah,
think.
for sure. Oh, I
Yeah.
like that.
Good
That's
show.
great. Absolutely. Now, is there anything else you want to try with the Viognier, or should we move on to the Merlot?
The other thing we could almost do, but I think today, like I brought a triple cream brie. The funny thing is you wouldn't think to put a Viognier with a brie,
Yep.
but because it's kind of good with a Chablis or Chardonnay or
absolutely.
something like that.
Yep.
But we could try it
Well,
as
let's
well.
try it. Why not? Let's experiment a little bit. There's all this really good food in front of us.
Well, why don't we throw a little bit of that with the undressed cracker?
Sure.
This is, I have to say, don't go with double cream bries if you can. Honestly, the triple cream is the way to go because it's just got
go
that
all the
thing
way,
going on.
yeah.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like making Italian pasta or fettuccine alfredo and getting whole wheat pasta. It defeats the purpose.
Or getting like
Get
not
the
a
creamy stuff.
Yeah.
Get the calories and the fat.
Use
Just
the real-
enjoy it.
And the reason why I like that on the undressed, any high-fat cheese, like a Saint-Augur
Yeah.
or whatever on the undressed are a low-fat cracker, so it again lets that beautiful, milky butterfat really work in the cheese.
Absolutely. Well, try this one out. Yeah. That's nice. I mean, it doesn't have the million different flavor characteristics
No.
going on like the previous tasting did, but it's
No.
subtle and it's gentle and it's creamy and
Yeah.
just very enjoyable. Now with
Yeah.
the Viognier, again works well, not as well as the first one. The first
Yeah.
one, it's almost like the Viognier is on the cracker in the first one.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this one's a little bit. I think a Chardonnay would have been a little bit better with that.
Yeah, so
but,
like a creamier wine.
but we've only got so much time to do it.
Absolutely. You never know. All right, get your glass here. We'll get the spit bucket
Right.
out. Let's try the Merlot out. Now we've got a Merlot from Summerhill. Sorry, Black Hills is located in Oliver as well. Summerhill is in Kelowna. They're organic winery. If you know the area, they do this pyramid thing where they age all their wines in a pyramid.
Yeah.
Some people like it, some people don't. It's kind of cool. Very organic. And when you say critter wines, you often think Australia. Well, we're in BC here, Kelowna. They got a moose on their bottle. How appropriate. So let's try this one out. It's their 07 Moose Merlot. I'll give you a splash for a rinse there, because Viogni's got a lot of strength to it.
Thanks. Yeah, it does.
All right. Let's see how this. Now, Summerhill they're doing a nice job with their wines. They're pretty consistent. You tend to get a lot more earthy characteristics and whatnot with their wine because they're going the organic direction. Not so much overly fruit carried wine. All right.
Which I think makes it more interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You can just tell by looking at it, it's almost got an amber quality.
Yeah, absolutely. Amber, and it's not big and goopy in color. I always appreciate that when I see a wine. When I see a wine that you can't see through, it's like they've over-extracted it and it takes away from the wine. This allows some of the delicate nuances to come through when you see it lighter in color like this.
Yeah, it better have big age behind it if it's
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
And the earthy comes
Absolutely.
right up.
It's got a hint of jamminess, but the jamminess is mixed with like a neat smoked tar or something like that. Like, I like that. I like the nose.
I really like that.
Nice wine. It's got
Gorgeous.
like a vegetal characteristic on the palate.
Well, that's that earthy thing too.
exactly.
So we were talking earlier about sideways, that it just ruined. I think Merlot is a great grape.
Yeah.
I think that cabs are exceptional, but you need a pretty big meal and pretty big meat, and not, vegetables aren't great. I think it really can ruin a lot of light tender food. Whereas a Merlot, even though it's also a rich, deep grape, I think it really goes with, a lot more food.
Absolutely. No, this is a
Doesn't get
really
enough
nice
credit.
Merlot. I'm impressed with Merlot because Merlot, as much as you're honoring it, there can be somewhat few and far between too. It's difficult.
It can be
to find.
too fruity and flabby.
It's true, yeah.
Some people just don't take the time. Like this has some pretty interesting different
Absolutely.
things.
I'm quite impressed with this Merlot. I like it.
And it's that earthy thing that I love.
A lot of earth to it. It's a nice
Ashy
Merlot.
vegetable.
Yeah, ashy vegetable. That's a great characteristic for it. Now, what would you typically pair this one with?
Well,
As far as your cheeses go, and your crackers.
it's kind of tough. I still think one thing that a lot of people would highly disagree is a blue cheese. And blue cheese gets this singular thing that you can't have it with a red wine because of, the high tannin, the salt, and the cheese and whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm not a wine expert, but I disagree.
There you go.
Because for me, it's all about the feeling that you get from it. And for instance, rather than trying this Saint Agur, which is lovely, why don't you try it with my blue cheese crackers?
Let's try that one out. For sure.
They say that red wine is not for blue cheese, but I disagree.
These crackers are awesome on their own. It's when she says blue cheese cracker, and a lot of people don't really like blue cheese. A lot of people love blue cheese. This cracker is worth it for anybody. It's not blue cheese in your face. It's a cracker with hints of blue cheese. So it's really nice. It's delicate. It's subtle.
I'm glad you say that, Mike, because I think a lot of the reason that people don't like blue cheese is the texture of it sticks to the roof of your mouth. It's gummy, and then you get all. It's just too strong. But when you have it in a cracker, it's deep and mellow and baked.
I'm so glad you disagree with blue cheese and red wine because this goes really well together.
Well, Let me just try that little piece
Go
there.
for it. It's good.
You know what else it's too? It's about the feeling. Like red wine is that rich, deep flavor, and so is blue cheese. So I kind of think that they should be in the same
Well, we're right in
stable.
that time of year right now too. We're a week away from Christmas, or roughly a week away from Christmas. It's cold outside. You want to be curled up in your house in front of your TV or in your fire or family around. It's the perfect pairing for like a sipper or something just to chill and hang out.
To lay back.
Yeah, exactly. And simple, subtle, and enjoyable. Not something to rush, just something to enjoy.
Right, exactly.
That's a nice pairing. I like that.
On my website, I've got something like Sauvignon Blanc is beautiful with blue cheese.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's a whole different ball of wax. Like this is, I think...
Yeah, well, again, the cracker's so subtle. If you were to have a chunk of blue cheese on even your undressed cracker or something like that, would do much better, I think, with a Riesling or Sauvignon Blanc or something along those lines. And much more bright, acidic white wine.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
Excellent. Is there anything else you want to add?
Well, I just think that, you know, it can be really tough to make appetizers at any time. We're all busy, let alone Christmas or any time.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think if you go get a beautiful cheese and some great crackers, put it with a jelly if you like or not, and just sit with a bottle of wine, slow down, and don't make it too complicated.
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Absolutely. And like I mentioned before, and I will below the video have a link to Heather's website, Gone Cracker's website. She's got some really neat, simple recipes on there, especially if you're rushed and you really want to come up with a great appetizer that you're going to impress people with. That doesn't take a lot of time to do. Check out some of the recipes. They're really worth doing. What was the name of the cheese place again?
Queso cheese with
Queso
a K.
cheese with a K. Queso cheese with a K on the White Rock Strip.
Yeah.
I'll also have a link for them below. So queso cheese, your cheeses are awesome. Appreciate it. Another great place to check out.
Yeah.
So Heather, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks so much for having me.
This is excellent.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for watching today. Make sure this Christmas season you look for Gone Crackers, some really good cheese, some preserves, whatever you go with it. Make sure you get some good wine and enjoy the Christmas season. And Heather?
And what is it? To pretentious.
Depretentiousize.
Depretentiousize. I got
That's
it. Sort
yeah.
of.
Wine and food. Depretentiousized.